The House will come to order. Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Representative Max Brooks, House District 45. Mr. Shebel, please call the roll.
Representatives Armagost, Bacon, Barone, Representative Barone,
Excused.
Byrd, Basenecker, Bottoms, Bradfield, Bradley, Brooks, Brown, Caldwell, Camacho, Carter, Clifford, Representative Clifford,
Excused.
DeGraff, Duran, English, Rep. English,
Excused.
Espinoza, Representative Espinoza,
Excused.
Foray, Froelich, Garcia, Garcia Sander, Gilchrist, Gonzalez, Hamrick, Hartsook, Johnson, Joseph, Representative Joseph,
Excused.
Kelty, Leader, Lindsay, Linstead, Luck, Lukens, Mabry, Representative Mabry,
Excused.
Marshall, Martinez, Morrow, McCormick, Pascal, Phillips, Puglisi, Richardson, Ricks, Rutinell, Ryden, Sirota, Rep. Sirota,
Excused.
Smith, Soper, Representative Soper,
Excused.
Stewart K, Stewart R, Story, Sukla, Taggart, Representative Taggart,
Excused.
Titone, Valdez A, Velasco, Weinberg, Wilford, Winter, Woodrow, Woog, Zokai, and Madam Speaker.
Here. Thought I saw Sirota maybe. Okay. With 56 present, 8 excused, and 1 vacancy, we do have a quorum. Representative Brooks.
Good morning, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Good morning.
In the interest of expediency and before I lose everybody's very focused attention, Madam Speaker, I move that the Journal of Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025, be approved as recorded, as amended, rather, by the Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Representative. Members, you've heard the motion that the Journal be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk. All those in favor say aye. Folks, I need some. Aye. Those opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Members, we do have business to tend to this morning. We will be proceeding to third reading. I will ask members to take their seats. Members, I will ask you to take your seats so that we may proceed. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title of House Bill 1016.
House Bill 1016 by Representative Stuart Kay, also Senator Michaelson Janae, concerning authorizing an occupational therapist to prescribe durable medical equipment.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1016 on third reading and final passage.
Members, the motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1016 on third reading and final passage. Assistant Minority Leader Winter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have a question for the bill sponsor, and I'm going to defer to my colleague that's a therapist. Thank you.
Representative Bradley.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It has come to my attention, I got a phone call last night. This bill needs to be referred back to seconds. There are some real grievances with this bill. The DME community has come to the table. They were not included in the stakeholding. It's going to be a big problem with the OTs prescribing DMEs and the DME community being reimbursed for those prescriptions. They need an MD to be signed on it. I was just made aware of this last night. I think in good governance, we need to refer this back to seconds, go back to the table, and do it there instead of taking it to the Senate and letting the Senate do our business for us. So I would really encourage an aye vote on sending this back to seconds so that we can get this bill cleaned up in our House before we send it to the Senate to do our work. Thank you.
Representative Bradley, that was not a motion. I would ask you to rephrase your statement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My motion is to refer this bill back to seconds.
Say, I move.
I move to move this bill, House Bill 251016, back to seconds.
Thank you.
And I ask for an aye vote.
That is a proper motion. Representative Stewart.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's an honor to serve with you.
It is an honor to serve with you.
There was stakeholding done, and at this time I'm asking that we do these amendments in the Senate. I've been working with my colleague, Senator Michaelson Janae, and all stakeholders, and I'm ready to shepherd this over to the Senate. Thank you. I ask for an aye vote. No vote. I vote on my bill. Sending it to the Senate.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Bradley, this is your second time to speak on this motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm not saying that you did not stakehold, but you did not stakehold with the durable medical community, equipment community, which is part of this bill. I'm in favor of this bill. I think OTs, I'm not just saying that I'm not in favor of OTs prescribing, but if OTs prescribe durable medical equipment and then they need a prescription signed by a doctor because durable medical equipment will not be covered, then we're putting patients in this roller coaster. I'm just saying we've got to bring the durable medical equipment community back to the table. They were not included, and I got the phone call last night. I'm just asking for good governance. I'm not against this bill. I'm saying don't let the Senate do our work. We've got to do it here, or we're probably going to be a no vote. I mean, these patients need durable medical equipment. There's no question. But if it's not being covered, then the patients are going to have to have the cost. They're going to have the burden of the cost. The Senate doesn't need to do our job. Let's start here on a good foot. Let's move forward, and let's clean up this bill here. There's no reason to rush it. It's January 23rd. There's no rush for this bill. It's not a regulation. It's not a cleanup bill. It's not a federal regulation. It's not anything. There's no rush on this bill. Let's clean it up here. Let's do the work that we intend to do here. And let's make sure patients aren't on the chopping block to pay for the durable medical equipment that they need, like walkers and canes and things like that. I'm asking you as a physical therapist to clean this bill up here, and let's move forward. I'm asking for an aye vote to send this bill back to seconds. Thank you.
Representative DeGraff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd just like to reinforce what my colleague has said. We've got a bill that's coming up just right here. That's a cleanup bill from last year. So now we need a whole nother bill and a whole nother time to spend doing a cleanup bill. We need to do these things right. Now, for the people of Colorado, we're going to have over 600 bills passed this year. And maybe what we need to do is we need to spend a little bit more time in seconds. Maybe we need to spend a little bit more time making sure that we have all the I's crossed and T's dotted, rather than rush things through. And then we won't have all these cleanup bills. So here's a problem that was identified. The responsible thing to do is to fix the problem. There's ways to fix it. There's amendments to propose. We can do that on seconds, rather than kick the can over to the Senate and then hope they fix it. Otherwise, we're going to be imposing a whole level of confusion. And why would we pass on the opportunity to do the job right? Why would we pass on the opportunity to do the job right? For expedience? Because we want to get more bills passed? Ask the average Coloradan how many bills we pass. They'll say 10. And when you tell them 600, they know that government is being done to them, not for them. We need to do the job right. This is not a dig. I've heard nothing but positives about this bill from my colleague. That's rare. So let's do our job correctly, like we should be doing it. It's an easy fix. Send it back to seconds. Let's talk about the amendments here so that if there's anything else that we miss, that the Senate can handle it, hopefully. Do we really trust the Senate? Let's do the job right. Let's do our job right. Let's do our job for the people of Colorado, and the job that we're supposed to do for the people of Colorado is to preserve their rights, to make sure that our job is not to pass bills quickly. It's to pass them correctly. I ask for an aye vote. Send this back to seconds. It's not punitive. It's just an easy fix. Thank you.
Representative Stewart.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This bill is a scope of practice bill, and the issue that the stakeholder has is with billing. So I am asking for a no vote, and let's work on this in the Senate. I have had a meeting with all stakeholders this morning. We agreed to continue the conversation and send this over to the Senate. I ask for a no vote.
Representative Bottoms.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is odd to me to hear us saying in the House, the same body that makes weird noises when we actually try to defer to the Senate, that somehow we're going to defer this to the Senate. This is our job. Why would we send something to the Senate knowing they're going to have to clean it up? Guys, it doesn't matter which side of the aisle you're on. You know that goes against who we are. That goes against this room. Why would we send something to the Senate hoping that they do something that we should have done in here? That's highly irresponsible, but it also goes directly against what this room is for. It goes against our job. We have a job, and I don't think, well, I know Representative from Highlands Ranch is in favor of this bill. But what she's saying is it's not a good build. It's at this point, it's an incomplete build, and it's leaving out the biggest block of people that should be included in the discussion of the bill. So I strongly urge, let's kick it back. Let's see what it takes to get the right people on the to the table, and then we can move forward. And then when it leaves the House has done its job, and then when the Senate does all these changes, we can make our weird noises and say we don't want to accept the Senate changes because we know we did our job. Right now, we're saying no, we know we have not. This is literally, we have not done our job, so we're going to let the Senate do all the changes. Once we get it back from the Senate and they make changes or amendments or whatever, how can we give them a hard time and act like they're the lower room, the chamber, when we actually are asking them to clean up our mess, like we're the little kids and they're the big kids? I prefer to think we're the big kids and they're the little kids. And so let's kick this back, let's get it cleaned up, let's do what we got to do. And then when it comes forward, it's a bill that we can theoretically all vote for and say we did our job, and we're not going to let the Senate do this. And so that's all I got.
Representative Kelty.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for the bill. We had discussed the bill yesterday. My comment was I wanted at least to safeguard in the bill to state in there, because I was kind of worried about the whole insurance thing and people not being covered. Just because someone says you can have it doesn't mean your insurance is going to cover it. And being someone who actually was in severe physical damage for quite some number of years, unable to walk and that kind of thing, when you have to pay for certain types of equipment, it can get really pricey. And so we want to make sure that people are safeguarded in that way. But I do believe, because we talked about an amendment yesterday about adding a certified professional in there, that may fix the problem if at least that language is in there. But I do recommend doing that. So are you still, I think if we put it back to seconds, we can put that amendment in. Just take care of it here. You know, we don't need a Senate taking care of our business for us. We're grown-ups, we can take care of our own stuff. So that's what I would like to do. And I would propose an amendment. I don't know if it's ready or not.
Representative
Oh,
Kelty.
on the motion. I apologize.
Nope. No.
I'm learning.
You bet.
So that is my
no
comment on
worries.
that. So thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no further discussion, the motion before us is to refer House Bill 1016 back to second reading. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative Joseph. Representative Joseph is excused. We'll talk about the fine when she returns. Please close the machine. Representative Joseph, that's a $3 fine. With 20 aye, 41 no, 3 excused and 1 vacancy, the motion fails. The motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1016 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no further discussion, Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 45 aye, 17 no, 2 excused, and 1 vacancy, House Bill 1016 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Shebel, please read the title to House Bill 1022.
House Bill 1022 by Representatives Espinoza and McCormick, also Senators Michelson, Janae, and Rich, concerning updating the definition of qualified medication administration personnel to include an individual who has passed a competency evaluation administered by the Department of Public Health and Environment before July 1st, 2017.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1022 on third reading and final passage.
Seeing no further discussion, the motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1022 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Shebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 62 ayes, 0 no, 2 excused, and 1 vacancy, House Bill 1022 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Shebel, please read the title to House Bill 1033.
House Bill 1033 by Representatives Leader and Garcia Sander, also Senator Weissman, concerning medical assistance third-party liability payments.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1033 on third reading and final passage.
Seeing no further discussion, the motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1033 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Shebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 55 ayes, 7 no, 2 excused, and 1 vacancy, House Bill 1033 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Shebel, please read the title to House Bill 1063.
House Bill 1063 by Representatives Hartsook and Brown, also Senator Michelson, Janae, concerning the lawful use of crystalline polymorph psilocybin that is approved by the United States Food and Drug Administration.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1063 on third reading and final passage.
Representative DeGraff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just going to make an appeal for a no vote on this. I think right now as we discussed yesterday, we're 2 to 3 years out, and so to me, it seems like something about as irresponsible as voting on a bill to find out what's in the bill. This is not just a veterans thing. I'm not opposed to psilocybin for veterans. We're talking about a very powerful chemical. We're talking about there is the potential for psychotic break. We're talking about narrowing that chemical process down to its molecular form. We have a problem with fentanyl. We discussed yesterday a single single sugar packet full of fentanyl kill 1,500 people, a mass casualty event in your pocket. We don't know what this is. There is plenty of time to address the issues, the regulation of psilocybin. We just passed and we made it legal. We made the mushroom stuff, the naturopathic stuff legal. They haven't even gotten themselves up and running. And we're talking about a pharmacized version coming in and possibly moving all that out. So I'm not opposed to this. I am opposed to just throwing this in and always putting in veterans and saying that this is for veterans. This is for a company. This is to open up the market. This would help expedite money going towards it. And it's bypassing this body as a filter for protecting its citizens. This might be really good. I'm going to assume that it's going to be a really good thing for Colorado. But why not wait? Why not decide, and why not a bill that first talks about how we're going to handle such a powerful molecule? Rather than approving the molecule before we know all of the ramifications. There's a lot about this that we should know that we don't know. And of course, you don't know what you don't know. So I ask for a step back. Let's deal with what we need to deal with. That's going to, because if we put this in place, this body is not going to deal with it until it's legalized. Then we're going to have it legalized, and I don't see all the proper frameworks that we need in this couple pages in order to handle such a powerful molecule. And if we turn that loose on Colorado without the proper guide rails, we don't know what could happen. This is not against the chemical. This is not against psilocybin. I am 100% for veterans. I would like to see them have this as an opportunity because I have heard really good things about it on the naturopathic side. But this is not going to be available for 2 to 3 years. We're not talking about making it available for use. We're talking about giving it an automatic license here in Colorado on the say-so of the FDA. And the FDA has, to me, demonstrated that its priority is profit over patient. Time and again. So I don't think we should allow the FDA to be the final arbiter of what we release on the people of Colorado. So I'll be a no. I hope you join me in being a no. That's, again, it's not against the medication, it's not against the drug, it's not against veterans, it's not against any company. It's just to safeguard Colorado from what we don't know.
Representative Armagost.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I've heard a lot about this topic at different veterans conferences and hearing from different states and communities where the implementation and use of this substance, whether the synthetic form or the natural form, was something that was beneficial to veterans using it for the sake of PTSD, even traumatic brain injury. So I do completely understand and appreciate the implementation for the use in a controlled environment on this. But with that, and even hearing some of the testimony from my colleague from Colorado Springs yesterday, defining what a controlled environment is something that I think needs to be a much stronger guardrail. And on something like this, when we're implementing it, even in a trigger fashion, there's a lot of cases where we do get the cart ahead of the horse in this legislature. And with that, there's all the different analogies of letting something out that you can't put back in. So there's the issue of just simply, once we have this in place and it's open and it's being used, but it's being used improperly and from telehealth or from home or anything like that, where somebody has the ability to harm themselves or others while under the use of this during a treatment is scary to me. So Without those guardrails and without those things, the implementations, the stronger verbiage of those guardrails and what defines a controlled environment, I too will be a no on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no further discussion, the motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1063 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 46 ayes, 16 no, 2 excused, and 1 vacancy, House Bill 1063 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Members, that concludes our third reading today. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, a quick reminder that tomorrow is the introduction deadline for 2 of your first 3 bills. OLLS asks that you work with your drafters to finalize those bills as soon as possible so that they can be delivered to the House desk tomorrow. Thank you. With that, Madam Speaker, I move that
Madam Majority Leader, we may have some announcements.
okay.
Thank you. I appreciate your efficiency. All right, Representative Wilford.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Joint State Civic, Military, and Veterans Affairs SMART Act is happening upon adjournment, 15 minutes, upon adjournment over in the old Supreme Court chambers. See you there.
Thank you. Representative Lukens.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Education Committee SMART Act is also starting today in the old State Library, and we have a lot to cover today, so we are going to start in 10 minutes. That's 9:50. We also have education, a continuation of Education SMART Act hearings tomorrow. See you there. Thank you.
Representative Soper.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. I've been granted permission by the Majority and Minority Leader to be excused tomorrow.
So approved. Representative Byrd.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, if you are curious about the whereabouts of JBC, I'm about to give you the big reveal. So upon adjournment, we will be joining the Joint State Veterans and Military Affairs Committee for their SMART Act hearing, and also after that, apparently, upon adjournment, joining the Joint Education SMART Act hearing. So if you want to follow JBC, come see us there.
Assistant Minority Leader? Yeah, right? Yeehaw, cowboy. Assistant Minority Leader Winter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning, everybody. It is the last day to, well, not the last day, but we'd appreciate if you have any other funds to help with the junior livestock sale at the National Western Stock Show. If you could please get with myself or Chair McCormick. And you only got a few days left to get out to the stock show, so please go by there and take a look and enjoy everything that they have to offer. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And yeehaw.
I love it. Madam Majority Leader.
All right, my turn. With that, Madam Speaker, I move the House stand in recess until later today.
The House will stand in recess until later today.